project is on Discord. So I'm surprised they seem to move fast and ship things too with Discord. So I'm sure it'll come eventually, some sort of NFT integration. But yeah, I'm so excited for today's call. This is an easy one. You know, the praise is gonna be so simple. Because give power, baby. And it's such a huge success. So maybe to make sure we have time, I'm sure lots of people will start rolling in, but I think this is enough for quorum, and we can get this party started. So for looks like we have a few new people. So check out this slide. Just a warning, you're going to get called on. We do this thing at the start of every community call. It's kind of decentralized updates. I like to call it the praise game. So get your praise ready, and I'm sure you'll see how we do it. But pay attention, because we're going to call on you. So I want to start off by dishing praise to basically the entire team for this Give Power release. It was so huge on the dev side, last minute changes right before to make everything work leading up to the release, and everyone was so flexible and chill about like what would make the best product and debating things openly and candidly. It was just a really great team bonding thing, and then we got to have the huge success with comms. So major praise to Lauren, Almond, Corey, and everyone involved with the outreach. Algene, I want to give special praise to Algene for making it possible, and I want to give also special praise to our forgotten soldiers, the consultants that helped us actually write the Give Power contract, Sam, Gabby, and Jesus, that made the smart contract safe and work. And maybe even a little bit of praise to the VE Curve team for building something that we could improve on. I'm going to pass it over to Lauren.
Oh, geez. Oh, wow. That's because I wasn't muted. Damn. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm not ready. I want to praise Ashley for really great calm suggestions, like great tweets, great suggestions for the year in review, and feedback on like what we should include for givebacks. I also want to praise Yas and Jake for really pushing the Phantom Gitcoin grants thing and trying to get everything sorted out and make sure our listing is up to date and making sure that we tweet about it. It's super cool that we can donate using the Gitcoin grants 2.0. And I want to praise Cherik, because Cherik has done so much for all of the Give economy development. Like he's like done so much of the front end of Give Power, and it's like even there last minute, late at night, fixing issues as we're on live. And he's so amazing and such a pleasure to work with. I will pass it to Mitch.
Thanks, Lauren. Well, I want to praise you for spending probably most of this year planning and managing Give Power, and I want to recognize that was such a heroic effort, and without your persistence, it would have never gotten done. I want to praise Sam for working on some new modules inside of EVM CRISPR so that users can make donations and we can send givebacks through EVM CRISPR itself. And I want to praise Ahmad for really following up on the Chain Binder Pro program, getting it through advice process and up on the gardens. And I will pass it on to Almond.
Thank you, Mitch. I want to praise Lauren for being on top of everything regarding Give Power. It was great. I want to praise, oh my God, I was not ready yet. I want to praise Ashley for syncing up with me yesterday and always bringing her support. And I want to praise Nicola for doing such a great job with the community and everything regarding the community. And I'll pass it to Franco.
Hello, everyone. I want to praise, I think Griff already said it. Like, I want to praise everyone that put an effort in launching the Give Power, especially the comms team. I want to praise the dev team as well, and everyone who's been testing the product for the release, and the release was amazing and everything's working smoothly. So yeah, I just want to praise everyone for the effort for Give Power, and I'll pass it to you, Rodri.
Hi everyone, thanks Franco. I want to praise the same, all the team for Give Power launch. I want to praise Almond for amazing work with the GM podcast. I want to praise Tosin more for every always bring support me, and I pass to I don't know Corey.
Hey, yeah, thanks. Man, it's so hard to only pick 3 today. Okay, well, I want to praise the entire organization. I also go first with the comms team for an amazing launch push. And I want to praise the dev team for this last minute savior moves at the point of launch. It's really incredible to see. I want to praise Claire and Sim for an awesome brainstorm yesterday. Thanks for going through that with me. And I want to praise Kotabe for a really awesome proactive suggestion yesterday for outreach to projects that may not be able to participate in the Gitcoin round coming up. So the rest I'll write in the channel. I'll go ahead and pass this to Tosin.
Hi everybody. So I want to praise Lauren for being on top of Gift Power and the launch. I want to praise Mateo for his insightful feedback on working on the SDG donations. I want to praise everybody for being here, especially the comms team, and I'll pass to Marcos. Have you gone?
Hey Marcus, this is your time to
Hey.
shine. Do you have any praise?
Praise? Yeah, sure. I want to praise the whole Giveth crew. It's been really great kind of connecting with you all since ETH Barcelona. And I want to praise Kai, who's also in the call, who's just an amazing guy and a really smart builder. And I'll pass it on to Remy Alex.
Hi everyone. Well, I want to praise Ashley who introduced me to this community, and I want to praise you all, Giveth organization, because I am learning so much of this and Web3 with you guys. So Giveth is my first Web3 project. So thanks. And I pass to Mateo.
Thank you. Hey guys. Great week, great launch. I will type out my praise, but I just want to mention that it's incredible that 1 year ago we were just launching and it feels like the time moves super fast. And congrats to everyone. This is super a big milestone, and can't wait for the GURPS to go live next. And I'll pass it to Monique. Did you go?
Thank you, Mateo. Yes. Firstly, I want to praise Mary Ja for lots of good QAing for these last 2 weeks. Praise Griff and Lauren for their perfect last-minute feedbacks on projected rank. Praise Carlos Mateo for working on that Fiat and on-ramper integration. Praise Sherik and all my teammates, specifically Amin, for doing the last-minute change on the backend and the frontend. And lots of other praises that are included in the channel, and I pass it to Tropical Mango.
Thank you. So I want to praise Lauren and the rest of the comms team for an amazing Gift Power launch. Also, Almond for the initiative with the Sea of Hertz podcast, and also Kotabe for always looking for opportunities with the LATAM community and the LATAM event that's coming up. I think a great opportunity for you. And I will pass it to, Nicola.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Hi, everyone. Okay, I want to praise every single person who participated any shape, way, or form on this beautiful launch, because the vibe is just so amazing. I had such a great time being present, and like all these last minute things, and just yeah, I'm so grateful to be part of this. And so major praise to everyone who really just showed up in any way, and awesome comms Slouch. And also I want to praise Danny, who's just been talking about Give Power ever since, everywhere she goes with all the project owners here on the ground. And I do want to praise Claire, who is also stepping up as a Graviton. And we have our first Graviton check-in, first of hopefully many. And I see some Gravity Down members here, so you're invited to come and join us, guys. And I'm going to pass it to Rodri. Did you go?
Yes, I'm done. I don't know, probably.
I can pass it for you. Let's throw it to
Okay,
Jake.
thanks.
Yeah. You want to take it, Jake?
Yes, I do. Thanks. I want to start off with Ahmad. I mean, there's nothing above the joy of life. And so for this man to have another kid, that's why we're here. Comms, devs, Giveth in general, absolutely for the being Give Power strong if we want to make a wristband about it. And lastly would be Yaz. Every week just putting on a grant clinic. And I don't know. I'll pass it back to you, Griff.
Sure. Well, man, it's so good to see Wonka here. Let's throw it to you, Wonka. You know the praise game.
Okay, thanks, Griff. Well, I would like.
Oh, Wonka rage quit. Oh, he's back. Okay. Hey, Wonka, you can keep going. Oh, mic issues. What do you think? Now you're muted, Wonka. No?
Can you hear me?
Okay. We'll come back to him. Oh, you're there.
Sorry, yes. Yeah, praise Nicola for leading the mental health as a public good Twitter spaces and contributing to conflict management and carrying gravity in Giveth. I want to praise Mateo for his amazing support and leadership in the Colombian community, and also the advanced convert page in the TC and supporting the Give Power launch. And also Ashley, praise Ashley for supporting changing the wallet that can update the Gravity project in Giveth. And I'll pass it to Santi.
Thank you, Juan Carlos. I want to give praise to Kai for setting up the DApp node so we can start digging information through that. I also want to give praise to Mitch for putting out the Treasury forum post so we can discuss on what we want to do with our savings. And of course, I want to praise Ahmad for having his kit. And I'll pass it to Jazz.
Thanks, Santi. Hi, everybody. So I want to start my first praise with Tropical Mango for doing an awesome job earlier today with the call with Moonbeam Grant. I want to praise Zepti for being a great mentor and advisor on some of my rookie questions with the techie stuff. And I want to praise Jake for his awesome job on the token listing. You're on fire, Jake. And passing it to, let's see, Ashley, have you gone? Okay.
Ashley, are you there? Oh no. Ashley's, oh yeah. Oh, Ashley, we can't hear you. Are you having internet issues? Oh no. Okay, well let's give it to Kaid Lin. Kaid Lin, are you interested in trying to play the praise game?
Hi, it's Caitlin actually, but this is my
Thank you.
first community call, so it's nice to meet everyone, but I'm not exactly sure what we're doing. I just joined, so
Totally. So we do this thing, it's kind of like decentralized updates. You can basically, but with a lens of gratitude. So if anyone helped you to join the call, or as anyone has helped you in the last week or so, do anything in Giveth, you can just recognize them, say, praise this person for doing this, and then pass it back to me so I can pass it for you.
Perfect. Thanks for explaining. Yeah, I guess I want to give gratitude and praise to a friend of mine, Melody Song, who told me about Giveth in the first place and encouraged me to join the community call. Yeah, praise to Melody and thanks, Griff.
Thanks, Caitlin. It's so nice to meet you. And let's throw it over to Nico. Nico, you didn't go yet, right?
Yeah, I haven't. Thanks, Griff. Yeah, I'd like to give my praise to Nicola for always being passionate in helping our contributors as a representative of the Graviton team. Also, praise to those who had their buddy calls this week, Ashley, Frischel, Monique, and Kotabe. Also, praise to Frischel for the constant guidance and for hopping on calls with me to guide me. So I'm passing it to Lane Nerks. I think haven't gone yet. Yeah, welcome to Giveth. Yeah, Lane Nerks.
Lane, are you there? Or maybe Leinerkes? No luck on the mute. It's cool. I understand.
Let me try now. Is it working?
Yes. Hey, Ashley, take it.
I'm gonna go. All right, sorry about that. I want to praise Nicola for such amazing work in round 25 project verification applications. You really just like pumped through all of them, as well as starting up like new initiatives to bring gravity more into Giveth. I want to praise Franco and Allman for stepping up to cover me on like call facilitation and recording and all these things while I was taking time off last week. And so to have such a great team to collaborate with and know that everything will be fine. And I want to praise Kotabe for taking advantage of opportunities to get Giveth known in audiences that like are maybe outside of our normal audiences at the moment, and really exploring ways that we can be efficient and proactive in our collaboration there. And I will pass it to hasn't gone. How about Stefan?
Yeah, Steve. Do you have any? Steve is our secret behind-the-scenes Twitter rock star. Steve, do you want to dish any praise? Oh, Steve's having trouble with the mute button. Let's throw it over to Kotabe.
Yay, thank you. Well, I want to praise Griff for immediately just realizing that we had a meeting and go into it and had a great meeting with the World Food Program. I want to praise the dev team for being amazing and for all the great work with Give Power. Guys, you're amazing, and I don't praise you enough. And I want to praise also Ashley for having a great one-on-one with me and kind of like help me get more focused on some community tasks. So I got here a bit late. So Griff, can you help me with this?
Yeah, I see Lane, which, dude, you gotta help me how to pronounce your handle. But do you want to do some praise?
Hello, thank you. I want to praise to the entire team of Giveth for create content for the project that is giving the entire world the opportunity to promote and raise funds in order to create something good to humanity. No? And that is one of the most valuable things that are allowing people to will and offer humanity good things. And for that, I am very grateful. Thank you, Griffin, for giving the microphone, and I give it to you so you can another person.
Nice. Wait, and also, like, how do you say your name? ¿Cómo se dice tu nombre?
It's pretty easy. Leinier.
Lein.
Leinier.
Perfect. Thanks, man.
Okay, thank you to you.
Yeah, and I think Kai Jun. Are you still around? Yeah, Kai Jun. Do you want to play in the praise game?
Oh, yo, sure. Yeah, I want to praise Marcus for being such a good work partner, always bringing energy to the table and bringing me to the Giveth community. And it's my first time here. So yeah, I want to praise Giveth as well, since like such a sweet and nice community to be in. I'll pass it back to you.
Thanks a lot, man. Yeah,
So-
yeah, we have to turn off our videos. Thanks, Mitch. So, Lauren, Rodri, goodbye. Perfect. So then let's get this party started. I think that's everyone. People keep coming in and out. But that was praise. So praise is our favorite way of doing decentralized updates. It's kind of the way to get everyone involved. Oh, and it looks like Steve. Well, yeah, and the big thing here is like for Steve or anyone else who couldn't give praise or was pausing during the praise, you can actually praise is much better when it's written. So because when it's written, we actually will distribute give tokens to the people who receive praise. It's a way to like bottom up, a decentralized way to distribute give tokens to the people who are building and making the building the future of giving in the Giveth direction. So please, your verbal praise is always appreciated, but it's 10x more powerful if you type it into the praise channel. So if you've never done that before, you can use /activate, and that way you can receive praise. And you can give praise. And once you've activated, then you can do /praise to recognize anybody in the community that's doing well. And then those praises will actually get quantified, and you can also become a quantifier. If any of this process is interesting to you, reach out to Franco. He manages the praise process and is always happy to support anybody from coming in. And in general, welcome to Community Call 142. Man, we just do these every week, and there's always a lot going on, so let's keep pushing. Big announcements this week is that Giveth community events are slowing down, so there won't be too many Twitter spaces and workshops and podcasts. Like everything's gonna kind of chill out. So enjoy, so that we can enjoy the end of the year. Also, another announcement, a couple of people have asked, like, Give Power is very similar to Vote Escrow, VE Curve and VE Val. These are very huge protocols in the crypto scene. And Give Power is very similar, but the big difference is that we actually completely rewrote it to make the Give Power locking feature quadratic. So as opposed to in VE Curve and VE Val, it's linear. So you get a lot more power for locking for more time in the VE Curve model. And the Give Power is a little bit more, not encouraging the crazy degen the processes. So we mitigate it by being quadratic. And Gnosis Chain just merged to be a, probably the second most decentralized blockchain in the space. So that's super cool. We're so happy to be part of the Gnosis Chain community. And yeah, and don't forget, giving season is here. This is our time. Make sure this is a great time to be promoting Giveth. And so if you know anyone who's looking to donate, make sure to tell them Giveth is the place to do it, because you get give tokens, and it's just a really cool bottom-up crypto giving platform. And with that, we'll jump into the working group section and the community circle. So we'll start with comms, and Corey, maybe you can take it away.
Thanks, Griff. So really exciting week for comms. Probably the most exciting one since I have joined Giveth. Give Power is live, and to announce this, we put out a very powerful tweet thread. Major praise to Lauren for writing this thread and all the reviewers who put the work into this. It starts off with an awesome custom video about Give Power. And praise to Lauren for getting this video created, because it is getting a lot of engagement. We're approaching 150 retweets. I think you might even have to refresh this. Oh yeah, there, it's separated out. That's why. And we already have over 150 likes, 160 likes, which is just awesome. So the word really is getting out, and it's just such a cool video and supportive tweet thread around it. And also to I think in the thread itself, we also link a really great blog post on Give Power. It spells out everything you need to know. Remember also to give it claps at the bottom of the Medium post by clicking on the clapping hands at the bottom. Also, praise to Lauren for writing this. Oh my God, it's like incredible what we're putting out for this. So go check it out. Make sure to give it all some engagement because a lot of work went into this, and the more people see it, the better it is for our launch. And also, of course, to celebrate this, we had a Give Power launch party on Tuesday to kick it off. There was a small delay, but that's how these things go. Everyone did a great job promoting our comms and just taking a minute also to enjoy the moment together because there was so much work that went into this. So it was really cool to see everyone get together. We hijacked our own comms call to have the party. So thanks everyone for coming, and it was just such a great time. And then overall, I just have to say it again, praise to the comms team for a great outreach and launch effort around this. We were working like crazy to get everything out on time. So it was just awesome to see it coming together. Then also, did you catch yesterday's Give Talk? It was a Give Power Q&A with Griff, Mitch, Lauren, and I hosted. We ran through a list of great questions from Givethers about how Give Power works. So check out the recording because there's a lot of good info in there. And we answered some of your questions directly. We also, and then in other news, we recently tweeted about the required regular updates for verified projects, which are necessary every 90 days to retain verified status. This is a really good tweet to share with your project that works because we want to make sure that we're reminding projects to do those updates every 90 days. We want people to keep their verification status. And this is a great thing to help build trust with donors, that donors can see regular updates from the projects that they're donating to. And then next on the list, I just wanted to make sure to share this awesome guide with tips and tricks that project owners can use to attract more donors and engage their communities. This is from last week's Pimp Your Project workshop. It's on our Notion. Just wanted to make sure to share that because there's lots of great content that was put together for this. And we definitely want to help projects fundraise during these times especially. So lots of good info in here to share. And then finally, Panvala stamps are coming for verified projects. So as you may know, Giveth is about to become the first Panvala network chapter. This means that verified projects on Giveth will be able to get funding from Panvala stamps without needing to be an official Panvala League member. So we created a really good tweet about this, which also got some nice engagement and is very cool to share with the format of the video in the first tweet. And we also posted a link to the full presentation from our community call. So you can listen to that to get the full scoop. So what's up next? We got lots of Twitter. Sorry? Oh, we've got lots of Twitter planning for the holidays. Since people are going to be out, we're doing a lot of content planning in advance. We also have a holiday campaign we're working on to existing donors and projects to remind them that this is the giving season, and they've got lots of ways to do that on Giveth. And we're working on comm support for DeFi outreach to reach new users. And we're also working on a Giveth year in review blog post, which will outline all the awesome things that happened this year. So stay tuned for that. I'll go ahead and pass this to the next working group. I think maybe you'll be taking it, Ashley.
Yeah, I'll take it. All right. So the Communitas working group meets on Tuesdays for our building sync at 9 a.m. Costa Rica time. And we also have a weekly AMA call that we do, AMA and orientation. So if you're interested in contributing or if you're a project owner and you have some questions about your project, this is the place for you. You can come ask your questions, get to know Giveth members a little bit better, get to know each other better, and get any questions answered. Sometimes we do themes. So like last week we did a Give Power workshop, or one time we did a verification one. So sometimes keep an eye out and you might find one that's like themed to something that you're interested in. So here are updates. We have been brainstorming around ways that we can get involved in this Latin American Forum for Impact Investing. Cotabe's been working pretty closely with the facilitators, and we feel like this is a great opportunity to onboard their attendees to Giveth and maybe form a good partnership with them. So there's a forum post here if you want to learn more or be involved in that area. We just finished the project survey. It is in type form. It's ready to go. We're waiting until the end of the holidays when people have more space, so that will be promoted early next year, but it's all ready. There's some talk about creating an interactive map so we could see where our projects are, and we could even have different layers over top of different things that we could show on this map. And there's talk about how we could build that and put that into action in the forum. You can link here. And last but not least, we are working with the Sea of Hertz radio show that Miguel has been doing. He's been doing some project interviews, but we're looking to kind of expand this into maybe having more panel discussions, independent music, Web3 onboarding opportunities, and this is all done in Spanish. So it would be kind of like unlocking more of a section of our Spanish-speaking community. We'll have just different discussions and maybe even some type of things like we have our current Twitter spaces in English. Maybe we'll reflect some of those same ideas here. There's still a lot of discussion happening. There's not even a forum post about it yet, but it's in the works. So keep eyes out for that or get involved if you feel called. Maybe reach out to me, Almond, or Miguel if you want to get involved. And weekly, we have a section for community brainstorming. We're always looking for ideas to have community spotlights in these calls. So if you have a community in mind that would be a great community to be part of this call or maybe part of our Twitter spaces, there's a document here where you can add those ideas and we can reach out to people and try to get some of these spots filled, as well as future Giveth Essential sessions. So if there's things about Giveth behind, like we did the tokenomics one, we've done some other ones like social media, Giveth on social media, different things like this, topics to learn about within Giveth. There's a document here where if you have questions or anything, you can put them in there and we can form some sessions around those questions that you might have or things that aren't clear for you. And you can find down below the past Giveth Essential sessions on our YouTube, and there's a link here if you want to check those out. And then down at the bottom, you'll see, and you probably heard in the check-ins and in the praise, Gravity team is being activated within Giveth. So if you have seen any conflicts or you're having conflicts or you need some support in some area where there might be some tension with another contributor, with the organization itself, there's a form here that you can fill out. And we'll have some like moderation sessions. There's a gravity process that gets carried out. And just so you know, like these conflicts aren't necessarily something negative. It's always provides us an opportunity to grow as an organization together and become stronger. So please, let's work together to find out how we can be better. And if you are a Graviton and interested in getting more involved in Gravity, DM Nicola, and she'd be happy to help you get more involved. And that's all I have for Communitas. Back to you, Griff. You can hear me, right?
Yep, we heard you. It was a great presentation. Thank you, Ashley. And now we can jump over to the platform circle and the development working group. Who is taking it for development today? Monique?
Yeah, thank you. Our working group, we have weekly things on Monday, 5 p.m. Central European times, and we're doing usually bi-weekly sprint review on the exact time. So about the updates, mostly this week, we were spending time on Give Power boosting and the launches and the operations and stuff related to that. But we have these epics. As you can see, the notification center is ongoing. The Give Economy event is still in progress. The Fiat exploration is at the final steps that we can say that we have the feature soon in 2 weeks, I guess. Recurring donation is right now is a little bit blocked, waiting for the fundraising proposal. And the good news is that we started multi-level accounts. If you're interested to know what are we trying to do, you can click on that forum post in the title. You'll find it out in new flows, and we have a draft architecture of the backend that is open for the comments. It's a little bit techy, but if you have questions, you can just DM me. And the updates at the top, you can see the latest versions and the changes. There are the hyperlinks there, especially for the front end and the back end. Have lots of patches and major changes, and you can see the version numbers up there. And the back end, this was mostly operations. On the front end, we just do the last minute update of the project rank. And that was, huge for the last minute changes. Related to the mutual cooperations with the General Magic, we also started some new projects there that you can see there. And what's next? In the next slide, we have these two things, project activity update feed. As you voted on the token log, we prepared the backend. Design team started working on this. Mo did lots of research about it. For the refactoring project form, analysis is ongoing. We have meetings this week about also the locations and the way that we can have this information and show this information. And our roadmap link is up there. You can see it. And we're adapting the open roadmap policy. So if you think that you can contribute, you can, vote on the token log, get the issues prioritized. As you can see, we have the fiat integration in the top and project activity feed second. And for information, boosting is out, so your votes may be unlocked, so you can vote again for new features. And I pass it to Lauren for an interesting updates for the Give Power.
Thank you, Monique. Yeah, give power. Okay, well, first we have a love calls. You know that. I say it every week. Next live. Give Power is live. As you know, Give Power is live. And we had a lot of fun with this one because we actually collected the data from our first couple of days of being soft launched to determine the first ranking of projects on Giveth. It's not the real rank, it won't affect the givebacks, but already our sorting of projects on the Giveth homepage is much better than it ever was. So it's really exciting to see Give Power in action. We had a couple of hiccups before the launch, just basically we forgot to put a number in the config, but that's all sorted now. And on December 27th, projects will actually have their first rank based on community curation. So super, super exciting. I want to praise everybody who was involved in this launch. Basically everybody. I want to praise everybody in Giveth because everybody helped with this launch in some way. And I think it was I think it's a really great product. And I think our announcement got a ton of engagement. And what we need to do now is really just try to kind of encourage more people to use it and make sure that we're expanding our user base. So on that topic, we had yesterday a couple of impromptu Give Power retrospectives, and I took some notes. And then first we had a little bit of a retrospective in the Give Economy Dev call, and then later we kind of commandeered the workshop's time slot and got a lot of retrospective feedback from the comms team. And one major thing kind of emerging from this is that we really want to focus on expanding our user base. So I'm going to work with Corey on making these things into actionable items, and she's actually already gotten started on that and trying to get more people using Giveth and using Give Power. It's great that we're making amazing products. They work super well, but we really need to have people using them. So next on the Give Economy development side or next up on boosting is I'm really interested in looking at improving the way that we're calculating our projected rank so that it's maybe a little more accurate or less redundant and you don't have multiple projects with the same projected rank. So I'm going to be working with Amin on that. And Following that, we're getting back into the topic of delegation. Users should be able to delegate their Give power to a trusted representative. We sort of put that on the back burner while we were focusing on launching the product, but now that it's launched, we need to work on delegation. Somehow maybe we can include token log and snapshot and all these other things. Oh my God, we're running out of time. I have too many things to say. I'm going to burn through the rest fast. Regen farms and the Give economy. We're working on kind of doing a bit of a redesign of regen farms and also a redesign of the entire Give economy section. So Mo and I are going to work on a forum post together. Stay tuned for that. I'd love to get some feedback because I think there's a lot of redundancies in the Give economy flow right now. FYI, the Give drop is ending on December 24th. So if you haven't claimed your Give drop yet, it's like really your last 9 days in which you can do that, and then you won't be able to claim it anymore, and the tokens will go back to the DAO. Also on the Give economy side, we are working. I'm going to work on put a bunch of issues for the notification center, so we have notifications on all the Give power actions. Really excited about the notification center, and starting to work back again on the PFP collection. We are going to be launching the PFP collection without all of the utility, but actually telling people like what the expected utility will be. But we'll kind of launch the PFP collection as just a simple NFT drop, and you'll be able to mint it. And so Santi's started to put together this doc for the specs and is working with Tossin on the drop page, and hopefully we can get that out sometime early next year. Sunsetting Giveth Trace we didn't really get to in the last Give economy call, but you know, Giveth Trace is being sunsetted. On the research side, this hasn't really been mentioned I think yet in the call. Giveth is in the beta test of Gitcoin Grants 2.0. So Phantom put up around like $30,000, 125,000 Phantom for the matching fund. So you can actually beta test Grants 2.0 by sending a small donation to Giveth. And if you send a small donation to Giveth, then we have a greater chance of getting more of those matching funds. That's the way that quadratic funding works. So major praise to Yas and Jake and Griff for getting this grant up there and putting it in front of me so we can tell people. And so like everybody listening in this call, you can support Giveth and help us get more of these matching funds just by putting a small donation to our project on Gitcoin Grants 2.0 and this Phantom thing. So there's the link to the project. Would love the support. We actually skipped the Give economy research call this week, so there's not too many updates there. Kotabi did have a meeting with Hedgie, and they were introducing us to a couple of their VCs, and we're really shifting into focusing on getting more donors onto the platform. And then I'll pass it to Yas for updates on the grant side.
Cool, thanks, Lauren. I'll be also super quick here. Basically, major update is on Phantom. Please show your support. Everything's shared in our Twitter. And in the link there on Phantom, you can actually see real-time updates on how we are faring in the whole grant allocation. With other grants, basically with Polygon and Radical, it's still under review, waiting for them to get back to us with their decision. With Moonbeam, we just had a great call with their entire grant team right before the community call. It looked positive. They have some further questions, but the great thing is that it's happening. We're gaining momentum and they seem interested. So we'll keep you posted on the progress there. Cello, the grant is also submitted, and the idea is basically to add them to our chain. So just need to wait from their grant team to get back to us with any questions, feedbacks, and so on. What's undergoing and ready to kind of go out is Avalanche and Chainlink, which Tropical Mango is steering them. Balancer is something that we will start probably right after publishing these guys. Molotov and Metacartel, I'm waiting on them to basically figure out how we're going to progress with Hedgie through NFTs and perhaps use that together in combination with our grant ask for both of these DAOs. With Optimism, it seems that they're opening another grant cycle, so we can apply again with our ask of adding them to our chain. With white labeling, the idea is to white label Gnosis, and it seems Game 7 as well. We are having calls with Gnosis this week, and if the feedback is positive, we can go ahead and submit that. And lastly, with the pitch deck, it works also on mobile, so you can check it out if you're on a different device. And that's it. We can go to the design working group.
Hi, everybody. So on the design working group, we're still working on the SDG donations page. So basically, we're still integrating, payment with your credit card onto the platform. So we're exploring on Rampa, Dropbox, and the Ramp network. And then also we are still working on the project activities page. So basically, we have users who actually learn more in real time what the project is up to, and then we're also working on standardizing the project format template for everybody to use. So it's really, I think this will reduce work, and then we have it's a more standard project format across board on the platform. And then we're still working on the Radiant farm. It's still ongoing. We are exploring what happens when a farm ends, and then we archive the cards. But when, even though the stream hasn't, so how you could actually still access your streaming rewards, even though that particular farm has been archived. And so we're exploring, trying to show the streams and how you harvest them somewhere else. And then finally, pause improve Giveth. If you have any suggestions, any feedback, just drop a message for Mo and I or in the design working group. I think that's that for design. Pass to giving our cycle. Griff.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll try to zoom through this so that Marcus has some good time. Basically, lots of people are taking vacation the at the end of the month. So Ahmad just had a baby. Major props to that. That's huge. And check the team availability channel for updates on baby talk. And also, of course, remember to put your vacation time, if you're taking vacation, in the team availability channel. Looks like Ahmad, Moshahab, Suga, Heather, Lauren, Frashelle, Claire, Mitch, Alman, Franco, all taking time off this round. And as far as updates, remember, set up your buddy review calls and fill out your type forms if you have any contributor feedback, and get your self-review out before your buddy call. There are lots of really interesting polls on the forum right now. There's very rare that I talk about the givebacks, releases, the amazing forum posts that Ashley is putting together every 2 weeks. But this one has a poll about whether or not we should give givebacks to people this round who donated to projects that were verified in the round, but they donated just a little bit before. So definitely check out that poll. We'd love to get your feedback because this is going against our normal policy. But it has some merit. So please vote on that. There's a worked-out agreement poll. There's karma for governance analytics poll. There's a DAO treasury management poll. And I think there's actually one more poll here. I can't remember which one. Check out all the cool stuff that's happening on the forum. There's so much. And also, of course, we're hiring some major technical roles, but I think we can just zoom past that and pass it to Mitch in the DAO working group.
Thanks, Griff. Yeah, so we have weekly governance calls. Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central European. And some Swift updates in there. We've got a whole bunch of different DAOs you can participate in. We've got the Enter Give DAO for contributors, the Give Gardens, the Token Log and Snapshot for Give token holders, and as well as signers on a bazillion different Gnosis safes. Notables, I just wanted to highlight the thing that Griff mentioned, the Karma Governance Dashboard proposal. If you're around, just take a couple minutes, give it a read, and send us some signals in the poll. In our Give, nothing at the moment to vote on. The Chain Vine referral program is up in the gardens and has a ton of support, but you can always add some more. Claiming safe tokens on our matching multi-sig. If you're that signer, please go and sign that transaction. And I think we can skip token log this week. Oh, Griff's got it open right there. But that's all right. That's all right. I want to give time to Marcus here. So I'll pass it on to Griff to present the community spotlight.
Yeah, it is my pleasure to introduce Marcus and this trust project. I actually haven't heard much about it, but I do really love hanging out with Marcus. And I think many of you got to meet Marcus in Barcelona, and he's an Ethereum fellow working on really cool projects in the space. And I'm sure it looks like you brought your team here too. I think Kai Jun is part of this squad. But Marcus, why don't you tell us about trust and especially on an angle of how Giveth can get involved.
Awesome. Yeah, super happy to be here. Can I actually share my screen really quickly?
Please.
Awesome. There we go. Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna just walk you guys through a little bit of what we're working on here at Trust. This will be just kind of a broader walkthrough, and I'll spend the last few minutes kind of discussing where some really practical use cases, and then where I think Giveth would fit into the equation here, and really what our vision is. So really, like, I think one of the problems that we see today in the space, right, is we've got all of these blockchains producing all of this data, and then we've got applications and communities that are built on top of it, but it's really hard to make meaning and kind of derive rich insights that we currently have from on-chain data, right? And so as we have more and more of the world's data coming on-chain, we're going to continue to rely more and more on this data to make better decisions about what we should be voting for, what projects we should be donating to on Giveth. And so generally our thesis is we need better ways of analyzing and contextualizing both on-chain and off-chain data. So the current, just like kind of very quick technical discussion around how we currently look at a lot of on-chain data. It's very archaic, very slow, and not very efficient. So we're really focusing on building these pre-indexed, pre-connected graphs where you can very easily look at the different nodes and relationships that exist across users and tokens, which just makes like data processing super easy. So you can build reputation, analytics, and recommendations on top of this stuff. So for example, you could have trust dashboards. When you go onto Giveth, you can see who's donated to what, who within your network has donated, and then equally you can see, across each of your sort of different on-chain data points, which one, and here we've got the example of which protocols people are donating to. But for example, this could be like which Giveth projects people are donating to, right? Equally, let's say that you are a part of these 5 different communities and you want to see, okay, there's a grant on Giveth, and I want to understand one grant supports, say, retroactive public goods funding to some extent, right? And then you can see that the optimism community is really even voting for this type of project. And again, all this data already exists on chain. It's just a matter of being able to analyze it and take a look at it in really concise ways. So a whole bunch of different use cases. For DeFi protocols, you can unlock more capital efficiency. With decentralized social, which is one of our big use cases at the moment, you'd be able to link into kind of the different relationships people have. And by the way, pardon me if I'm going really fast here, just trying to kind of run through these things. Yeah, so with decentralized social, for example, you'd be able to look at the activity that people are sharing online and be able to recommend and boost content according to your on-chain sort of profile, the communities that you're part of, whether that's Giveth. You can see what Giveth holders are up to on-chain. And I know this is how originally I ended up here, was speaking to Mitch about some of these ideas. But also reputation identity is a really huge use case. And then when we think about the real world and how we integrate off-chain data on-chain, there's different ways of being able to validate that, whether that's decentralized science and the knowledge that we're generating, being able to trace, say, how peer-reviewed papers are being published and who's reviewing them and the contents of the data. And then lastly, with wallets. So a little bit of kind of the development and what's happening right now. So we're building out some recommendations engines for mainly within the Lens protocol ecosystem. So Orb and Favor, they're big to Lens protocol front ends, just doing an amazing job. And the idea is, as you log on, you'd be able to see like who within your communities is participating in both of these front ends, and you'd be able to be delivered content like, hey, the Giveth community is talking a lot about, say, this specific proposal, and so that and because you're a part of the community, that gets boosted up your rank and your feed. With reputation, actually, this is launching today. Optimism, and you mentioned this on your call, is launching their second season of retroactive public goods funding early next year. And they'll be launching attestation stations, which is basically you can attest for people on chain according to certain traits that you want to ascribe to them. So for example, I really trust like Almond with DJing, for example, and I can make an attestation of that on chain. And then we can look at the different relationships that exist. So we're essentially building the backend infrastructure to look at the different relationships that exist and be able to derive insights based off of this information, right? We're in close conversation right now with the Gitcoin Passport team. They're also looking at a lot of reputation, and so we'd essentially be able to look at like a lot of the kind of similarities that users have across different Gitcoin passports. And then POAP is also just like incredibly rich data source as well when you think about it, right? Maybe you met people at DevCon and you scanned their NFC card, for example. So that's a little bit of what we're working on. As far as, just quick overview of team. So it's Kai and myself. Kai's a blockchain researcher focused in yeah, privacy, cryptography, decentralized identity, reputation. I'm a fellow with the Ethereum Foundation. We've got some great advisors on board. And then as far as kind of the role of and where Giveth would fit into this, I think it'd be really interesting to be able to trace as you have more and more of the world's data coming on chain, and especially the projects that you're donating to be able to see the different relationships that exist across projects, I think is really, really fascinating, right? And then be able to trace sort of who's donating where and what the kind of source of those funds are and the reputation that people have, perhaps tapping into, say, like Optimism's attestation network, and generally just create a lot more transparency. There's obviously some key caveats here that have to do with privacy and anonymity as well. So there are ways leveraging zero knowledge proofs and other encryption methods to still derive really valuable insights without necessarily having to reveal, specifically, like, say, who's donating to which projects, when, where, and why. So that's an overview of Trust Protocol. I do want to leave like a few minutes to see if there's any questions or sort of this spark in your mind. But yeah.
Quick question: where do we find out more about the Optimism Attestation Network?
So they are the reason you haven't heard all that. They posted one tweet about it, but they have a Twitter space today at 1 p.m. Central that we'll be participating in as well. And then I can actually send through a link for you. Or sorry, midday Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. I can send a link through in the chat later on that speaks to more.
That would be amazing. Yeah, you can just put it in the chat. There's a chat in here right now. That would be really cool to see. And then also, yeah, we were very interested in creating donation badges of sorts for Lens Protocol. This is something that we've been discussing lately. And I don't know, is that something that your protocol could enable us to do? Because, we have a very simple system where people can say if they want the donation to be anonymous or not. And if they click anonymous, then of course we wouldn't add the data. But if they don't want it to be anonymous, then I think they would like to see a badge on their Lens profile. And I feel like there's a good integration there. Is that something that we could work together on?
Yeah, definitely. Happy to touch base on that. I mean, there are some kind of we aren't focusing so much on like the badge piece per se. There's a couple of projects that are Galaxy is one of them. And there's a couple of others, but we're more so sitting on like showcasing the relationship that exists, say, across different badges. However, like, super happy to kind of give you guys some insights on how you'd be able to leverage these badges, for example, and who's doing this already. But Kevin Owaki is also working on like a Lens Protocol front end that's focused on like public goods, and so it'd be really interesting to see kind of where that triage might be with like Giveth, what they're working on, and then also kind of like these graph infrastructures to support the projects that you guys are supporting with funds too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any other quick questions for Marcus? Oh, sorry, Marcus, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, just ask that basically. If there's anyone that has any questions or wants to reach out, feel free to DM me on Discord. We're really excited about basically like, the way we see this is in a future. So I'm from Guatemala, Kai's from Malaysia, and really the intention here is to be able to give people, let's say you've received like a Giveth, like you're recipient of Giveth funds, right? To be able to use that as sort of a badge of your reputation would be really valuable. Say maybe at some point you'd be able to use this, the fact that you're like a project to on Giveth as like potential collateral for taking out a loan on something like Aave, right? And so that's really the infrastructure that we're building out for. So we're really excited about a lot of projects that are focused on public goods and bringing, crypto and distributed ledgers to emerging economies. So DMs are open, and thanks for the time. Really
Very cool. Very cool, Marcus. Yeah, we basically have our verified projects are almost like a version of Web3 501c3, like nonprofit status. So it would be super cool to legitimize that in any way that we can for projects that maybe they don't have a legal entity, but they deserve to have some sort of nonprofit status because they're doing good work in the public good space. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you all for joining us for our 142nd community call. It was an amazing one. Give Power's launched. The holiday season is upon us, so I'm sure the next few community calls will be a little smaller, but it's really good to see you all, and I hope you all enjoy the end of the year. We'll talk to you soon and see you at 143. Bye, everyone.
Yay!
Bye.